Today, my cordless drill suddenly started having problems. To many people, this may look like an ordinary battery-powered drill. But to me, it is almost like my right hand in most of my DIY projects. Whenever I need to drill, drive screws, build something, or repair a small part, this is usually the first tool I reach for. So when it stops working properly, it feels like a familiar tool is no longer working like it used to. I suspect the problem is somewhere inside the battery pack. But before I decide that it is completely dead, I want to open it up and inspect it more carefully. Because sometimes the thing that stops an entire tool from working is just one tiny contact point that many people would easily overlook. And here it is. The negative contact point seems faulty. If it cannot make good electrical contact, the drill will not run properly. Normally I would fix this with a soldering iron, but today it is not working. So I either stop here or make a replacement tool from parts on the shelf. I choose the second option. Here it is. A few ordinary parts inside this box may be enough to save the drill. Here I have a few old 1.5 volt batteries and 2 motorcycle spark plugs. At first glance they seem unrelated to the drill battery pack. But when I place them together, a bold idea starts to form. Can you guess what I'm going to make to repair this battery contact? First, I need to remove the outer casing of a 1.5 volt battery. The tools are simple, a knife and a pair of pliers. But this step must be done slowly and carefully, because inside this battery there is not only a metal shell, but also one important part for today's idea. Next, I pull out the core inside the battery and clean it. This battery may no longer have any power left, but that does not mean its core is useless. In this project, the carbon rod inside the battery is actually the most valuable part. It can withstand heat fairly well, it conducts electricity, and it may become an important component in the tool I am about to make. However, you need to be very careful when doing this step. A 1.5 volt battery may contain electrolytes such as ammonium chloride and zinc chloride. These substances are not good for your skin and you should not breathe in any dust from them. So when doing this, wear gloves, work in a well-ventilated area and clean everything properly after handling it. Now I need to grind one end of the carbon rod into a sharper point. This helps the contact tip focus heat on a smaller area. With a homemade tool like this, even the shape of the tip can change how well it works. The next part is also very important. I still have 2 motorcycle spark plugs in the box. One is newer and one is older. This time I will reuse the old one. I do not need a perfect spark plug. I need its special ceramic structure. I will also use a terminal block to hold everything firmly. Now I insert the prepared carbon rod and combine it with the motorcycle spark plug. Then I tighten the screw on the terminal block firmly. This step is very important. If the carbon rod is loose, the contact point will not be stable. And if it is clamped at the wrong angle, the tool may not work the way I want it to. At this point, some of you may already be starting to guess what I am trying to make. But do not jump to a conclusion too quickly. What I am making is not just a few random parts put together. I need 2 pieces of electrical wire. These wires will become the backbone of this entire DIY project. I wrap the wire around the metal section below the white ceramic insulator. This ceramic part is important. It resists heat and helps insulate the inner conductor from the outer metal shell. That is why this old spark plug works so well for today's project. In the right roll, even an old part can become useful again. Next, I need a small piece of PVC pipe. Can you guess what I'm going to use it for? Now, I add a little baking soda into the pipe. Baking soda is not only useful in the kitchen, when combined with glue, it can create a very hard and fairly strong reinforcing layer. Now I add glue to harden the baking soda. As the glue soaks in, this mixture quickly sets. It helps lock the internal parts in place much more firmly. I continue adding baking soda and glue until the pipe is filled just enough. There is no need to overdo it. It only needs to create rigidity, hold the inner core securely, and make the handle more stable during use. The blue wire I used at first was accidentally cut a little too short, so I will replace it with a longer red wire. I wrap it around the screw on the terminal block, then clamp it inside the PVC pipe at the metal section below the white ceramic part of the spark plug. This will become an important contact point. The white ceramic part provides insulation, while the metal section below helps hold the connection and guide the current to the correct position. Next, I need a power source strong enough for this tool. Normally, a 12-volt battery would be quite suitable, but today I do not have one available here. So I will replace it with another drill battery pack that is still working well. Now I wrap the two electrical wires around a metal washer. Then I clamp them onto the two terminals of the drill battery pack. The remaining ends of the two wires already have alligator clips attached. These clips will make it easier to connect to the extra wire I left at the bottom of the PVC pipe. One small piece after another is slowly coming together. From an old 1.5 volt battery, a motorcycle spark plug, a few electrical wires and a drill battery pack, this homemade tool is finally beginning to reveal its true shape. The DIY tool now looks almost complete, but the real question is this: can it fix the faulty contact on the drill battery? Let's test it. So, what do you think? The core parts of this DIY tool are a motorcycle spark plug, a carbon rod from a 1.5 volt battery, electrical wires, and a strong power source such as a drill battery pack or a 12 volt battery. The motorcycle spark plug is useful because of its ceramic insulator and heat resistance. It holds the contact tip in place while reducing heat transfer back toward the handle. The carbon rod works as a carbon electrode. When a large current passes through the contact point, this rod helps concentrate heat at the tip. The wires carry current from the power source to the tool, and the battery pack provides energy for the entire system. When the electrical contact is made correctly, the current focuses at the end of the carbon rod and creates high heat for a short moment. That allows this tool to work like a mini carbon soldering pen for heating or repairing simple contact points. From an old battery, an old spark plug, and a few wires, we created a surprisingly useful repair tool. Of course, this project involves high current and high temperature. Always wear gloves and safety glasses, work in a well-ventilated area, and never let the battery or wires stay shorted for too long. If this idea was useful, please like, share and subscribe for more DIY projects.